I have an article here from nichegamer.com. Dragon Quest creator isn't happy with censorship in Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. This comes from an interview at Tokyo Game Show 2024. Revealed Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii isn't happy with the censorship in the remake, among other changes made. The interview was held with both former Shonen Jump editor-in-chief Kazuhiko Torishima, who also had a big role in the creation of Dragon Quest, and the creator Yuji Horii, talking up the game with the Japanese outlet The Famicom Gamer. Horii said, "There's so many restrictions for exposed skin." The interviewer, a woman, replied saying, "It's fiction. I think it's fine that you just go into the story and become the main character." Both the interviewer and Horii then questioned why the original costumes were a concern. The interviewer said, "It's fiction. It's a fictional experience. So long as it's enjoyable, it's fine." Horii followed up by noting, "If there's more exposure, the age rating has to go up. That means we can't sell it for all ages." Another male interviewer noted rules vary by the country, and when trying to sell globally, the issue of compliance comes up with the strictest regulations. To which the other female interviewer said, "We never thought about this in the past." Torishima replied with, "Compliance is like an all-powerful god. Something that is used in the name of good is actually bad. It's impossible every single person doesn't feel uncomfortable. It's fine to feel uncomfortable. Beautiful and evil, or beautiful and ugly, good and evil, it depends on the person. It's fine as long as they don't do what you're not allowed to do." In Western countries, there's a root of thinking based on religion, and it influences their sex education, right? Their attitude to compliance is really narrow-minded. Torishima also discussed selling manga in the West. When selling manga in America in the West, everything had to be categorized by age groups. With Shonen Jump, they couldn't be sold unless they were rated age 13 and older, because there's a risk of lawsuits and they need to have insurance. Doing business with a ridiculous country like this is such a hassle. Coming from this, Japan gets negatively influenced as well. That ridiculous country he's talking about is the United States, and it is. We're absurd when we come to censorship and things of that nature, and paying attention to people who could possibly be offended. And when we talk about sex stuff or violence or whatever, it's ridiculous. Now the sexual stuff is even more ridiculous because like violence, there's a lot of violence that's allowed in America that's not allowed in various other places. But in terms of sex, man, very little is allowed, to the point to where you're like, you're almost like gobsmacked. But anyway, then back to the interview. The controversial change to remove gendered language from the remake was brought up, in which the game removed male and female pronouns and replaced them with appearance A and appearance B instead. In Dragon Quest, you used to be able to choose between a male and female protagonist, but now you can't choose between a man and a woman anymore. We have to call them Type 1 and Type 2. I truly wonder who was even complaining about this. See, and that's the thing is, the only people who are complaining about this are people who don't buy the games anyway, or don't watch the movies, don't watch the TV shows, they don't buy the merchandise. They don't participate anyway in the fandom other than complaining. So why in the hell does anybody, do these companies, the mainstream media, why do we listen to these people? They've got nothing to add. They've got nothing other than complaints. And then when you change it, they don't even watch it. How many of these, for modern audience type shows or movies or whatever, bomb, get canceled, make no money or just barely break even or make a little bit of money or whatever. The movies and the TV shows that are inclusive and stuff and that are diverse and all this kind of horse shit and language that they always use, those movies and TV shows, they don't do well. They don't make a bunch of money. The ones that don't do that stuff are the ones that actually make the money. The ones that are actually fun and enjoyable entertainment. It's absolutely absurd that we let such a small percentage of people out there, because it's only a small percentage. Like even among, like say that, and we know they do all these changes for the alphabet people, the alphabet community, the transgender people, the LGBTQIA 2A or 2IA Spirit Plus, blah blah, whatever the hell. We know that they're making all these changes for those people, but even among that group, there is I would say probably a large portion. I would say at least half, which we're still talking like 1 or 2% of people. Basically, I think it's like 2%, or I think it's like 5% of the United States is identifies as gay, and then I think it's like 1% is trans. Your numbers are probably more skewed because, like among millennials and among like Gen Zers and shit like that. Although Gen Z actually is a little more base, but you're seeing it more and more among young people because they're all wanting attention and stuff. Part of growing up, part of being a teenager or a young person is trying to find your way in life. You want to fit in. Well, what better way to fit in, but yet still get validation pats on the head and stuff, and to say, oh well, hey, I'm a trans person. I'm this, I'm that. What all this kind of horseshit stuff. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd that the vast majority of us have to abide by their rules. And then, like I said, even I would say at least half of those people of the trans community and so on and so forth, even they are like, this is stupid. Why are we making these changes? This is dumb. It's absurd. It's just pointless. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble a little bit. I'll go ahead and link this in the description box if you can read it for yourself. I pretty much read the entire thing. It talks about how the remake is coming out next month, or technically November, I guess, but I mean it might be next month by the time I put this up. Anyway, whatever. November 14th is the exact date. Across PC, Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation and stuff. The usual places. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I'm starting to ramble a little bit. Thank you very much for watching, and